Hi, Next to Change, Vivian here. In life, there are compromises that we make in order to have relationships and just basically to get along in the world. And, compromises sometimes are necessary. But the thing about good and healthy compromises are those where they should be beneficial, at least equally. That would be the best type of arrangement, is if both are being benefited equally. So the compromise is basically the same. So there are times when you will compromise, and that's okay. But I want to talk about 6 compromises you should never make. And the first one is sacrifice for self respect or love. You know, a lot of times we can get caught up in relationships. You can meet someone and for some reason you feel like they're the one, or you see potential in them that has not yet been manifested. You begin to visualize and see things in this person. And then, of course, they're reciprocating in a particular type of way, as so, to have you drawn in. So, you have people that get in these relationships with these dangling carrots, and they work so hard to try to get love from the other person. They sacrifice their self respect. So, in relationships like that, those relationships are usually one sided. There's usually some type of emotional abuse going on, something that's unhealthy. And in the end, those relationships really don't last forever. So eventually, the person that's sacrificing everything, their self respect, and just who they are as people, they do wake up one day. And guaranteed, when they do, they will find that all the things that they accepted will be the things that they regret. So don't sacrifice your self respect for love. Real love, true love, does not require a loss of self respect to another person. Number 2, don't sacrifice your integrity or your morals for money. So if you do, you can get money by sacrificing your integrity, by sacrificing your morals, but in the end, all that gain, the money, whatever it is, the tangibles, the resources, those things will be ill-gotten gain. In other words, you lied to get it, you stole to get it, and you did all these things that really impact you deep in your soul. you know. And the more you do those things, the more you sacrifice your integrity and your morals, the more there's a searing of your soul. And in the end, it's not good for you as a person. It stagnates you in your evolution, in your human potential. The benefit of all of that will be stagnated. And the ill-gotten gain that you received will come to naught. It'll go away. Usually ill-gotten gain crumbles, or it doesn't settle and it's not well with you, because ill-gotten gain will have strings attached. Usually it does. And then it just becomes a thing of owing, and it just becomes a tangled web that now you've woven. So do not compromise your integrity or your morals for money. The third thing is quality for quantity. There's nothing like quality. And when you think about things that are of high quality, it's rare and it lasts. Things that are of high quality, they can last forever. And high quality things are like a gift that keeps giving. So don't sacrifice quality for quantity, because usually when you're thriving more towards quantity, you can end up with the product. You can end up with the result that's less than, that's inferior, and that again doesn't last. So let's just say you have a product and you're trying to make as many as possible. You could make 50 mediocre ones, or you could make 25 ones of quality. Go for the quality, because the mediocre ones, it'll be good for the moment, but those things will wane and break. And then you will now have a reputation of a person that does not have high quality products. You know, so, and that can go anywhere. That could go, that same principle can be generalized through relationships and friendships. You know, you can't have, 100 high quality relationships, right? Because quality has time invested to it. Time and effort and care has been put into things of quality. So you can't compare quality with quantity. You cannot compare quality and quantity. So do not sacrifice quality for quantity. Number 4, do not sacrifice time for idleness. So you have an allotment of time here on this earth. And use that time wisely, because you can't get it back. It's like you're spending it. It's like time currency that you're spending every day. What happened yesterday is gone. You don't have yesterday's time anymore. And if you sit back and think, what did you do with yesterday's time? Did you sacrifice it for idleness? And I'm not necessarily talking about times when you're not being financially productive. So, there are leisure times, and that is not idleness. You have times that you've designated, and they have purpose and intention. This is fun time. This is leisure time. This is another time. This is rest time. But then there's just idleness, where you're just not doing anything, and you're just, walking around. It's not intentional, and it's almost where you've either procrastinated so much, or you've slacked off so much, so now you kind of like a lazy complacency that has just settled in, and you are just idle, not producing anything of purpose or meaning. So you can't get your time back, so don't sacrifice time for idleness. Okay, number 5 is dreams for so-called reality. You have your dreams, you have your visions, and nobody knows your dreams and your vision like you do. But you have people that will listen to your dreams and your visions, and to them it'll be foolishness. To them it'll be irrational. To them it will be a step away from reality. And so that's their perception, and a lot of times those people, I call them dream thieves, because they shatter your dreams. And a lot of times people like that don't have any dreams of their own, and they kind of just want you to hang out with them, or they kind of just want you to be common and mediocre like them. So don't do that. Don't let people talk you out of your dreams. So if you think about your dreams, if you have dreams, it's more than likely they are attainable if you just pursue them. Because if you think about it, there are things right now in the earth that 50 years ago, or even 100 years ago, would have been irrational. It would have been a step away from reality. And then there are things to come that we haven't even seen that will manifest from the ideas and the dreams of other people that would seem irrational to us today. So do not compromise your dreams for reality. Don't take your dreams and not scale them down. Don't take your dreams and scale them down, to make them more palatable for the masses when they hear them. Okay, number 6, personal freedom. Never, ever, ever compromise your freedom for acceptance, belongingness, or connection. So that's almost like the sacrificing your self-respect for love, but it's a little different, because in this one, there's not necessarily an element of disrespect in it. It's just that, you may want to join a club, a group, an organization, and sometimes in places like that, they can be cultic, or they can be, what's the word I'm looking for? They could be Like they want to take over your whole life. They could be very demanding, conforming. That's the word I was looking for. They could want to be very conforming. And so they want you to conform, and they want you to be like them. So a lot of times it's almost like all these clubs and organizations and you know um, groups that bring themselves together. It almost becomes like a Stepford wife thing where everybody is looking the same, talking the same lingo. They want you to come 4 times a week, and you don't have time to go 4 times a week. You have things to do. But because you want to be accepted and you want to belong to this group and you want to have this connection with these people for whatever reason, you compromise your freedom. You give yourself less and you give them more. You give them control. And now you're not even saying no anymore when you want to say no. And you find in yourself now wanting to please other people for acceptance, and you give up your own personal freedom. Never do that. Because again, in the end, all the things that you did and you accepted, you will regret, and you will have remorse for all the personal freedom that you've given away and the time that you've given away to others. And basically, your life that you've put in the hands of someone else to be the driver. So those are 6 things to never compromise. And you will find that you will live happier, you will live better, and you will definitely be more fruitful in your life. This is Vivian from Next to Change. If you like the video, subscribe, like, and share. See you next time. Be the next to change.